Ty Borden's comeback is something no fan of Heartland could have imagined. After years of absence, the person who was once the heart of the series is stepping back into the story, bringing with him a whirlwind of emotions, unresolved feelings, and a wave of questions. Season 19 sets the stage for an emotional journey that promises to reshape everything we thought we knew about Amy Fleming's life and the choices she has made since Ty's departure. For years, Ty's sudden exit left fans heartbroken and yearning for closure. His absence wasn't just a loss for Amy and her daughter Lindy, it created a gaping hole within the narrative of the show. Now, with his return, the series doesn't just give us the chance to revisit a beloved character, but also delves deeper into the emotional complexities of love, loss, and rebuilding. Ty's reappearance isn't just a nostalgic nod to the past, it's a pivotal moment that will challenge the relationships Amy has built in his absence, particularly with Nathan, a man who has become an important figure in her life. The show's strength has always been its ability to explore raw, real emotions. Season 19 begins by asking some of the toughest questions. What happens when someone you've mourned and moved on from comes back? How do you reconcile the past with the present? And most importantly, how do you rebuild trust in the wake of so much pain? These are the questions that will drive the heart of the story this season. Ty's return is more than just a plot twist. It's an emotional earthquake. His arrival will ripple through every aspect of Amy's life, forcing her to confront emotions she has buried and decisions she thought were final. But this story isn't just about Amy. It's about the Heartland family as a whole and how they navigate this unexpected development together. Jack, Lou, Tim, and even Lindy will each have their roles to play in this unfolding drama. As we dive into Ty's return, we are reminded of why Heartland has captured the hearts of viewers for so many years. It's not just about the horses or the stunning landscapes, it's about the relationships, struggles, and triumphs of a family that always finds a way to endure. This season promises to be a testament to the show's legacy, blending the nostalgia of Ty's character with the growth and evolution of the other characters we've come to love. The reunion of Ty and Amy isn't just a meeting of two people, it's a collision of worlds. The life Amy has built without him will clash with the memories and promises of their past. For Nathan, this will be a moment of reckoning. The tension between Ty and Nathan will be palpable as both men are forced to navigate their feelings for Amy and their place in her life. But what makes the story truly gripping is the emotional depth it brings. Ty's return isn't about rekindling a romance or reigniting old flames. It's about closure, healing, and understanding. It's about finding a way to move forward even when the past seems impossible to escape. And for Amy, it's about rediscovering who she is, not just as a mother or a partner, but as an individual. The stage is set for an unforgettable season that will push every character to their limits and leave fans eagerly awaiting each new episode. Ty's return is more than just a storyline. It's a chance to explore the heart and soul of Heartland in a way we've never seen before. For years, fans have speculated about what might have happened to Ty Borden after his unexpected departure from Heartland. Season 14 left us with a devastating goodbye, and the series moved forward, focusing on Amy's journey as a single mother. But Ty's absence always lingered like a shadow, a reminder of what was lost and the questions left unanswered. Now, Season 19 finally gives us the answers we've been waiting for. Ty's return to Heartland is far from simple. His journey back has been fraught with challenges, setbacks, and moments of self-discovery. The man who left Heartland isn't the same man who has come back. Over the years, Ty has faced battles we have yet to fully understand, battles that have shaped him into someone both familiar and different. His decision to stay away wasn't easy, but in his eyes, it was necessary. Season 19 doesn't shy away from exploring the emotional weight of Ty's choices. Why did he leave? Where has he been? And most importantly, why has he chosen to return now? These are the questions that drive his narrative arc this season. Ty's journey is one of redemption and healing, both for himself and for the family he left behind. As we delve into Ty's backstory, we begin to see the layers of his character in a way we haven't before. His reasons for leaving were deeply personal, tied to both his physical and emotional struggles. Now, with his return, Heartland embarks on one of its most compelling storylines yet. How will Amy, Lindy, and the rest of the family adjust to this life-altering change? And will Ty find the peace and redemption he saw? Emotional well-being. Ty didn't just walk away from his family, he walked away from everything he knew to find peace and clarity. But in doing so, he left behind a path of heartbreak and confusion. Ty's return isn't just about reuniting with Amy and Lindy, it's about facing the consequences of his choices. He knows he has a lot to make up for and is ready to take responsibility for the pain he caused. But the road to forgiveness is never easy, and Ty understands that rebuilding trust will take time. This season also explores Ty's internal struggle as he grapples with guilt and regret. He is haunted by the choices he made, yet determined to make amends. His journey back to Heartland is as much about finding closure for himself as it is about seeking forgiveness from those he loves. What makes Ty's return so compelling is how it challenges the other characters. Amy, in particular, is forced to confront emotions she thought she had buried long ago. She has worked hard to move forward, building a life for herself and Lindy with the support of her family and friends. But Ty's return changes everything. Can she forgive him? Can she trust him again? And perhaps most importantly, does she still love him? The ripple effects of Ty's return extend beyond Amy. Jack, Lou, Tim, and even Nathan are all impacted by his presence. Each character must come to terms with what his return means for their relationships and their lives. For Jack, it's a reminder of the bond he once shared with Ty. For Lou, it's an opportunity to support her sister through a difficult time. And for Tim, it's a chance to reflect on his own role as a father and grandfather. But for Ty, coming back to Heartland is just the beginning. His return sets the stage for a season of growth, redemption, and emotional discovery. It's a story that reminds us why we fell in love with Heartland in the first place. The ability to tell deeply human stories that resonate on a personal level. As Ty steps back into the lives of those he loves, he brings with him a message of hope. No matter how far you've gone or how much time has passed, it's never too late to come home. Season 19 promises to be a journey unlike any other, with Ty's return at the heart of it all. Amy Fleming's life without Ty Borden has been a journey of resilience, growth, and heartache. After losing the man she once envisioned spending her life with, Amy had to rebuild her world piece by piece. For years, fans have watched her navigate the challenges of single motherhood while staying true to her passion for helping horses. But beneath her strong exterior is a woman who has had to suppress immense pain just to keep moving forward. After Ty's departure, Amy made it her mission to provide stability and love for their daughter, Lindy. She poured her energy into raising Lindy with the same values she and Ty once shared: compassion, hard work, and a deep respect for nature. Her dedication to Lindy became her anchor, helping her focus on the future while healing from the wounds of the past. Yet no matter how much time passed, Ty's absence left a lingering pain in Amy's heart, one she rarely allowed herself to dwell on. As the years went by, Amy found herself in a position she never expected, opening her heart to someone new. Enter Nathan, a kind and understanding man who came into her life when she needed a partner, not just for herself, but for Lindy as well. Nathan's presence brought a sense of calm and stability, qualities Amy desperately needed after the emotional turmoil she had endured. He never tried to replace Ty or erase his memory. Instead, he gave Amy the chance to move forward while still honoring her past. Nathan's bond with Lindy was another reason he became an important part of Amy's life. He treated Lindy with care and understanding, recognizing the delicate balance of stepping into a family still healing from loss. For Amy, Nathan represented a fresh start, a chance to build a future without feeling trapped by the shadow of her past. Over time, she began to trust him, allowing herself to believe that happiness and stability were once again within reach. Despite the progress she made with Nathan, Amy could never fully close the chapter on her life with Ty. His memory was intertwined with every part of her being, from the ranch they built together to the horses they trained side by side. Even in moments of joy with Nathan, there were times when Amy would find herself thinking of Ty, wondering what could have been. Lindy, hearing voices, came running from the barn, her laughter filling the air. But as she caught sight of Ty, she stopped in her tracks, her young face lighting up with a mixture of bewilderment and pleasure. "Daddy," she said, her voice trembling. Ty crouched down, his hands wide open. "Yeah, sweetie, it's me," he said, tears streaming down his face. Lindy hesitated for only a moment before running into his arms, her small frame trembling as she clung to him. Watching the reunion between father and daughter was almost too much for Amy to bear. As Ty held Lindy close, Amy felt a surge of conflicting emotions. She was overwhelmed by the sight of Ty and Lindy together. But part of her couldn't ignore the questions swirling in her mind. Where had Ty been all these years? Why had he stayed away? And what did his return mean for the life she had built without him? Nathan's truck pulled into the driveway, breaking the momentary spell. Stepping out, he immediately sensed the tension in the air. His eyes moved from Amy to Ty, and his expression darkened as he realized who the stranger was. Nathan had heard countless stories about Ty, the man who had been Amy's greatest love and the father of her child, but he had never expected to meet him like this. Ty stood up, his gaze locking with Nathan's. The two men regarded each other with a mixture of curiosity and caution, both understanding the significance of the moment. Nathan, usually composed, extended a hand. "You must be Ty," he said, his tone polite but guarded. Ty hesitated before shaking Nathan's hand. "And you must be Nathan," he replied, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. The handshake was brief, a formality that barely masked the tension between them. Amy, standing between the two men, felt as though she was being torn apart. On one side was Ty, the love of her life, the father of her child, and the man she had mourned for years. On the other side was Nathan, the man who had helped her heal, the one who had stepped in when she needed someone most. The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken words and unresolved emotions. Finally, Amy spoke, her voice trembling. "Ty, we need answers. We need to understand what happened." Ty nodded, his expression somber. "You'll get them, Amy, I promise. But right now, I just need you to know how sorry I am for everything." As the weight of Ty's words settled over them, Amy realized that this was just the beginning. The road ahead would be anything but easy, as she and everyone around her grappled with the emotions, questions, and choices that Ty's return had brought to the surface. The tension at Heartland Ranch was palpable. Ty's sudden return had thrown everything into disarray, leaving emotions raw and questions unanswered. For Nathan, Ty's reappearance wasn't just a surprise. It was a direct challenge to the life he had built with Amy and Lindy. For Ty, meeting Nathan meant coming face to face with the man who had stepped into his family's life in his absence. The two men couldn't have been more different. Ty carried with him the rugged determination of a man who had endured immense hardship. His years away had changed him, etching new lines on his face and filling his eyes with a mix of sorrow and resolve. Nathan, on the other hand, exuded calm and stability. He was a man who had provided the steady presence Amy and Lindy needed during their most vulnerable moments. But beneath Nathan's composed demeanor lay an undercurrent of protectiveness, a fierce loyalty to the family he had grown to love. The first real confrontation between Ty and Nathan came the day after Ty's return. Amy had left early to take Lindy to school, leaving the two men alone at the ranch. The silence between them was heavy, both men aware that the time for pleasantries had passed. Nathan broke the silence, his voice measured but firm. "So, Ty, are you going to explain where you've been all these years? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you just walked away." Ty's jaw tightened. "You think I wanted to leave? You think any of this was by choice?" He shot back, his voice laced with frustration. "You have no idea what I went through or what it took for me to survive." Nathan crossed his arms, his expression unwavering. "Maybe I don't, but I do know what Amy and Lindy went through. I was here for them, Ty, when you weren't." The words hit Ty like a punch to the gut. He knew Nathan wasn't wrong. He had seen the pain in Amy's eyes, the grief she had tried so hard to hide. Stated or finished in a selected state of affairs, these moments of reflection have been bittersweet, a reminder of the affection she once had and the existence she had lost. Amy's relationship with Nathan additionally introduced its own set of challenges. While Nathan was patient and understanding, he couldn't ignore the reality that Ty's presence still loomed large in Amy's heart. There were times when Nathan felt like he was competing with a ghost, even though Amy tried her best to assure him otherwise. This unspoken tension created a layer of complexity in their relationship, one that neither of them could fully resolve. As Amy balanced her roles as a mother, a horse trainer, and a partner, she frequently found herself questioning her own feelings. Had she truly moved on from Ty, or had she simply learned to live without him? Was her love for Nathan a sign of healing, or was it a way to fill the void left by Ty's absence? These questions lingered in her thoughts as she tried to focus on the present. Season 19 places Amy at a crossroads, forcing her to confront these conflicting emotions head on. With Ty's return, every decision she's made and every step she's taken will be called into question. The life she has built with Nathan will be tested in ways she never imagined, and Amy will have to determine what truly matters to her. For fans, this exploration of Amy's inner turmoil is a reminder of her humanity. She's not just a strong and capable woman. She's a person who feels deeply, struggles with uncertainty, and makes mistakes like anyone else. Her journey in season 19 is one of self-discovery as she navigates the complexities of love, loss, and the possibility of a new beginning. As Ty steps back into her life, Amy will be forced to reconcile the past with the present. The emotions she thought she had buried will rise to the surface, making it harder to ignore the truth about her feelings for both Ty and Nathan. It's a journey that promises to be both heartbreaking and hopeful, as Amy discovers what it truly means to move forward while honoring her past. It began like any other day at Heartland Ranch. Horses grazing peacefully in the fields, Lindy playing with her dog, and Amy busy tending to her latest equine project. The ranch had always been a sanctuary, a place where Amy could lose herself in work and the comforting rhythms of nature. But on this particular day, the calm was about to be shattered in a way she could never have imagined. Out of nowhere, a figure appeared at the threshold of the property, walking toward the main residence. At first, Amy thought it might be Nathan returning early from his trip into town. But as the figure drew closer, her heart froze. She couldn't believe her eyes. The unmistakable gait, the familiar silhouette, it couldn't be, and yet it was. Ty Borden stood there, alive and in the flesh. For a moment, Amy couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The world around her seemed to fall silent, as if time itself had paused to allow this impossible moment to unfold. Her mind raced with questions. How? Why? Was this a dream? But the look in Ty's eyes, filled with a mixture of longing, hesitation, and pain, told her this was no dream. Amy's first instinct was to run to him, to throw her arms around him and never let go. But something held her back. Years of built-up emotion, grief, and uncertainty stopped her in her tracks. She stood rooted to the spot, her eyes brimming with tears as Ty slowly closed the distance between them. "Hi, Amy," Ty said softly, his voice cracking under the weight of emotion. Hearing his voice again was like a shock to her system, awakening memories she had buried long ago. For a moment, all she could do was stare, her thoughts struggling to reconcile the man in front of her with the one she had lost. Finally, she found her voice. "Ty, how? How is this even possible?" she asked, her words barely audible. Ty took a deep breath, his gaze never leaving hers. "It's a long story," he said, his tone filled with regret and sorrow. "One I owe you, and everyone here. But first I needed to see you. I had to come home." The word home hit Amy like a punch to the gut. Heartland had always been their home, a place where they had built their lives together. And now, after all this time, Ty was standing here, bringing with him a wave of emotions Amy wasn't sure she was ready to face.